Hi guys, we're going to talk about sailing a scorpion with bags, and congratulations because you're in on the first bit. Preparation in a bag boat is absolutely key, so by watching this video you're already part way there. And this starts even before the start essentially, because in a bag boat we need to check that the kite is in the right bag and that the pole is set correctly. So, you know, you can be an ends up or an ends down person. That's a very, personal preference. I've had to rope in some crews here to, help me with this bit, because as far as I'm concerned, anything in front of there is not really my bag. Yeah, so ends up, ends down, and ramp out, I think is the usual. Yeah. And both those things make it just that little bit easier, and anything we can do to make our life easier in these things is always important. So firstly, as a helm, we're getting to that 100 mark, and in a bag boat it can be tricky. But first thing you're going to do, if we're assuming it's windy, maybe ease a bit of kicker, just try and put some control into it. And take that leeward chute. We'll get that prepared.
Preset the twinner.
If we can preset, so
as a crew, I'll be pulling the windward twinner on as much as I can. Ideally all the way, pulling the spinnaker out of that bag, ready to go, and also making sure that leeward twinner is not cleated. So that's on the final approach to the windward mark, if we can do. Cool. If I've got time, I'll also lean forward, get the spinnaker pole, get it onto its ramp, and if possible, get the end hooked on. Then it's to sit there waiting to get the final approach into the mark. So then we go around the mark, so fly away. As the helm pushes the spinnaker, I just stand up in the boat, push the pole out, and clipping it onto the ring. At which point the helm has got both sheet and the guy in his hand, trying to fly it when I'm still back around the mast.
Sheet and the guy. If we're on a run, I'll have sheet and the guy. If we're onto a reach, then it's just the sheet. So this one's going to set quite far round. So set for a run.
So as Pete was saying, personal preference is jaws up or down. I'm a jaws up person on a spinnaker pole. Why? You've got two reasons. Jaws up. Got jaws up, then your kite sheet doesn't fall out of there. If you accidentally pull this at any point in your manoeuvre, it's not just going to drop out. Personal preference, I think it's faster to go just up rather than to go up and then trying to swat it off a bit. Personal preference.
Exactly.
But as mentioned earlier, having your ramp on the outside, again, I think it's just a little bit slicker, a little bit easier if you've got, certainly set yourself up for the first kite leg of the day. Ramp on the outside, and then the rest is just as it comes.
If you can make that first manoeuvre as smooth as you can, it'll set you in a nice position for that first reach, so you can concentrate on sailing rather than faffing around with things. They've got a lot better.
Jibe?
Yeah, just jibe. In this instance, there's as a helm, take sheets. Take the sheets. Once you've got the sheets off the boat, you're happy.
As the helm goes into the drive, you're unpleating your windward twinner and getting your leeward twinner pulled on as well. So you pull your leeward twinner on as you go through the drive.
Yeah, I think it's critical you don't do that too early.
Yeah.
I think a lot of crews pull the leeward twinner on too early, and the kite loses a lot of power at that point. So you want to do that quite late going into the jibe, in those sort of split seconds before you actually jibe, in my view.
Yeah, and you potentially, as a helm, when they're pulling that twinner on, if you can ideally ease that sheet at the same time, and it keeps the clue in more of the same position.
So that's as we go into the jibe then, so the boat turns down, and the pole can't be jibed.
You can? Yeah. I've jibed my kites round. Should we get that pole?
as a crew, I'm now standing in this position again. Off the mast, take it off the boom, same motion, clip it on, and just passing the pole through my hands, clipping the leeward side by pulling on the string, pushing out and clipping it on. At which point, all the time, the helm's keeping the spinnaker flying, and the spinnaker's not flapping. It's a nice stable platform for the crew to push it out. When it starts flapping, it starts getting quite hard work at the crew.
So at this point, communication is quite important because the helm is, in theory, flying the kite, and you, as crew, need to then take over the control of the kite. So we've got quite a good communication thing where, you know, I'll then grab, you know, if it's on a run, the first thing I'll probably grab the guy, and then take the sheet, and then there's a communication of like, have you got that? Are you ready? Because then you don't want a point where you've miscommunicated and all of a sudden none of you have got it and your kite's flapping. So there's always a bit of a check that goes on as to right, are we ready to transition?
It's good to talk through like your calls beforehand, so you know, like, got that one, that's what it means, so everyone's happy.
Drop in.
It's past the sheets.
Pass the sheets back. Pull in. Let's do all the bottom together. Make the ball slap, okay? When you drop in, you just need to make sure you stand up as high as you can.
Yeah,
so you're pulling down a bigger gap as opposed to.
Don't do the rabbit pulls. Make yourself as tall as possible. Make your whole body do the movement, rather than it's a lot of work for your arms to do that, but it's
So you